This week games took us in quite a few different directions, all to vast worlds that seemingly have no end. We started with Guild Wars 2. It's been a long time since I played this title. I hopped in with a friend that had never tried it out. I was so happy that I did, as I've forgotten how wonderful the world building actually is in this game. Walking around the now seemingly different world, as over the years and a couple expansions later, the world has been changed a ton. The world as you walk around just seems alive. NPCs have full conversations and walk about like they're just going about their day.
See you later, nasty.
Excuse me, Prince. I wonder if we could trouble you.
Too late. What do you want?
We were wondering, have you been in a war?
Events pop up out of seemingly nowhere and create chains of quests that make you explore further through this beautiful world. The questing is different from any other MMO that I know of, as all you have to do is walk into an area and it just pops up on your screen. All the quests also just have multiple ways to complete them, none of them having you repeat any of the same actions. This game was really a pleasant surprise and refreshing, as so many titles that come out now are unfinished or need polishing. I know this one's older, but it was just fun to play. Mortal Online 2 was our next stop, as they finally got their servers set up in a way that people could actually enter the game.
Oh my god, Alistair, the
As I
Grey
said
Warden.
before, it's a great game, just for the atmosphere alone. Why, hello, Betty. People are constantly role-playing, and everything you work towards in the game gives you a sense of progression. Why would you hit Betty? Or loss, depending on what you do and what happens. After a couple hours of getting my skills back up to what they were before the rollback, we headed out on an adventure to Meduli, as I, a weaponsmith in the game, had started my pilgrimage to make steel. After spending an exuberant amount of time in Meduli, mining Subura, we finally saddled up and packed our horses full for the long trip back to the terrible Viburnum. Suspicious of all those who pass, as we didn't want any of our progress to go to waste, we made our way there and proceeded to make steel. This became particularly hard as we could not figure out what book we needed to be able to use the refining oven, as you needed the skill refining expertise, but there was no skill book called that. We went through every book, made sure we had all the lore, and we still couldn't figure it out. Until we decided to buy the 50 silver book, Refining. And ta-da! It worked. With this, we were finally able to make steel weapons, and we did. The next couple hours we spent in the city streets, dueling each other with our new weapons. Next, I spent the weekend falling asleep at my keyboard, trying to play the new free-to-play game, Lost Ark. I'm not sure what to say about this title yet, as I have not made it to the endgame, but from what I see and hear, the endgame is definitely where it's at. What I can say is that the grind to get there is some of the most boring gameplay I've done in a while. I think the game would be great if I was only playing for about an hour or two a day, as the gameplay loop of the main story is about that long. It takes you from one NPC to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. Then it finally has you go kill about 5 to 10 monsters, That way you can see your fun abilities, and remember that you have them, and then it has you go back to the NPC number 1. And you rinse and repeat until you finally hit the end of a couple different areas, and you enter a dungeon. The dungeon will let you go all out, gives you a sense of the game being a bit more challenging, as up till this point you only really killed about 10 monsters at a time. And if you want it to be a bit more fun, throw it on hard mode, that way you don't just breeze through it. I know it might sound like I'm bashing the game, and I am, but like I said earlier, I think if you only had an hour or two a night to play, it would be perfect. From everything I've heard, it isn't until the end game that it really opens up and then you can start participating in harder content that's more group based. I hope that I make it there this week, as I was only able to grind up to about level 40 in about the 18 straight hours I played. From the couple of dungeons that I did have a lot of fun though. This week was filled with tons of adventure through old and new worlds, with frustrations from things like grinding to triumphs like new weapons. We never got around to playing GTFO, but I hope we will this week. That, along with getting to the end game of Lost Ark, maybe building a house in Mortal Online 2, or maybe even just re-exploring Guild Wars 2. If you made it this far in the video and enjoyed it, please drop a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.